everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and we are going to do Snowman today. Now, I haven't done Snowman yet this season, so I was looking for a different kind of snowman. So I'm going to use old cut up spindles. So this was an old spindle bed. It's just a single, nothing that anybody wanted. It's got holes where other railings and spindles went into. I'm going to ignore that. I'll put it toward the back of the snowman, but it's not something for a craft like this that I care enough about that I'm going to fill it and sand it. And I like the rustic nature of it. Now, because you know we're doing snowman, you can see on these guys, this is going to be the head. So this is the body. It'll be okay. They don't have to be perfect circles. This guy, this is the head. He's got 3 of those rings for the body. It'll be okay. Now, whenever I do a spindle craft, I get people super excited because they're looking for other things to do with their spindles, and then I get people that are super depressed because they have no spindles. So, whatever I'm doing to these, no, you can do exactly the same thing to other versions, meaning fusion top coats. Big, fat, chunky bottle. Look how awesome that would be as the big, fat, roly-poly body of a snowman. And, you know, take off the lid. I don't know if my lid's going to come off. Obviously, you want to do it with an empty one. But, you know, and then there's your snowman head. This long neck, it's going to be okay because you can put a big, fat, chunky scarf on it, right? So that would work. I have Barkeeper's Friend. It's not empty either, but when it's empty, I could paint up this body. I want it to be Snow Girl because it's very curvy, but, you know, taking off the lid, putting a big ornament for a head, putting a big a styrofoam ball for the head, that would work. You could take little clay pots. Here's your body. There's your head. Now, the head is open, but not if we put a little baby sock as the toque and we fill it up. So that could be a snow person's body, snowman's body. I don't want you to feel restricted to any craft. There are always options. There are ways to just look at stuff that you have. Look at the garbage you're throwing out. It becomes something else, just kind of using your imagination. But, you know, as much as I'm doing a spindle craft, you don't have to. You could use other things in your house that you do have that work for you. Now, the first thing that I need to do is I need to get these painted, and obviously I'm painting them white. So I'm using Casement by Fusion because it's an all-in-one, and then it's done. For these, you know, I want to do maybe like a little pedestal. So I'm going to look for some different heights of pedestals or bottoms. I'm going to paint them black. Okay. You could just leave them as they are. So I just want to have, if I'm doing 3, I want to have them at varying heights. So I need to find some things like that. Doesn't work because it's just putting them all at the same height. So, I mean, I could put him up on there, and then I could leave, oh, that kind of works, actually. I could leave this guy without a pedestal, and then I've got 3 different heights, which is kind of cool. All right, so 2 with a base, 1 without. I'm going to paint them all separate and then glue them together. But the first job, of course, is to get everything painted. So, Coal Black by Fusion, Casement by Fusion. Use whatever white and black you have and love. You don't have to buy the paint I'm using. Use whatever. In between coats and while I'm waiting for things to dry, I am kind of going around the shop, pulling together little things that I can potentially use as embellishments. So, you know, I've been digging out buttons, and I've got a little tiny bird, and I figured that as long as I was doing 3, I might as well do a family. So I have to think about different hats for them. So for the dad, I was thinking, well, he needs to have a top hat. So I did find this wooden round. If I had like a drink lid, I just don't drink anything with lids, but like a drink lid would be perfect. And I took off the end of an old spool. And so I'm gonna glue this on. I'm gonna open the hole slightly on the inside so that there's a little bit more space to be able to fit it on the head. And I'm gonna cut the brim down a little bit. So just trimming that. So I'm just kind of sizing it. But then I'm gonna glue it together, paint it black. So that's one thing because it needs painting that I'm gonna get done just a little bit ahead of things. I'm still digging through stuff to be able to see scarves, right? I figure I have this pair of old, well, oh, it's not pants, this is a shirt. So I'm gonna use that as one scarf, probably for whichever one I'm doing. The red buttons, maybe the black buttons, I don't know. I have to find whatever I'm doing for the mom's hat and scarf, because then that'll maybe determine buttons for me. But just, you know, the behind the scenes stuff, just want to let you know. And so that you know where this started rather than it just magically appearing painted black. All right, here are my 3 little snow people all painted and ready to gussy up a little bit. I decided that the holes work out fine to cover with buttons, so there won't be any of that. The challenge for me is that that's not necessarily the smoothest part of the spindle to be doing faces. So hopefully they don't get little wonky faces. What I'm gonna do is I've pulled together like some socks and some wool and some buttons and all kinds of little stuff. Here's our little hat, but it's got the big hole, which is perfect because we get to stick things in it. So what I think I'll do is I'll pull you in over top so that you can see me doing a face and decorating one up and see how that goes. And yeah, we'll take it from there. I'm hoping they're cute. All right, let's see. Now, this guy is gonna have this big scarf, which is a piece of that old flannel shirt that I showed you, which is great for keeping around for all kinds of craft projects. I'm just using a little thin marky. I was thinking Sharpie. Little thin marker to start. You could pencil this in if you want. I can always paint over if I really mess it up. But I'm just looking at the eyes, and I got to do the other one the other way around. I'm taking this as being the front, so I'm trying to make sure. All right, that's the start of his eyes. And I'm just going to flip to a slightly bigger, fatter marker to color that in. Okay, I'm not done with this. Oh, this is kind of slanted. All right, I'm not done with the eyes yet, but I need that marker to just kind of dry for a bit. So I'm going to grab an orange Sharpie and I'm going to do the nose. So I'm just going to start with it a little bit offset. And you could, if you had something carrot-like, you could glue it on to make the nose 3-dimensional if you wanted. And then I'm going to take that black again and just kind of outline it. And now, stop putting the black away. I want his mouth. We'll go from there to about there. My white paint isn't quite dry, so if you notice, I pulled off a little bit of the white paint there. You can see the yellow coming through, but that'll be okay. And now I'm going to take a white. Just a little fleck in there. And let's give him a little bit of eyebrows here. Now, what we want to do is we want to cover up that hole. So we put a little bit of glue around the outside rim and stick a button on it. And then I'm going to stick 2 more buttons on. There we go. And his scarf. I don't need to glue his scarf all the way around. I just need to glue it in the spots in the front that kind of create a bit of the pattern of where it's going. Okay, now for his hat, I'm going to put it on kind of a bit of an angle here. So I want glue kind of sitting about there. And then I have some little green sprigs I'm going to stick in there, and then a little bird I'm going to stick in the top. And then I'll see about maybe a little bit of greenery here. But then he's done. I'm going to finish the mother off the same way, but for her hat, I'm going to take, I have these 2 little old doilies. So I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to use the outside part as the scarf. I'm going to use this one glued as sort of like a little bonnet. I think I'll look for a little stuffing to fit underneath it. And then do her face. The little child snowman, I took the tip of a little kid's sock from the dollar store and I put that on and his scarf. And I'm just looking at probably putting a little bit of some kind of greenery up on his hat so that it perks it up a little bit. So yeah, just gonna do her face and her hat and we're good to go. And here's our little finished snowman family. So we have the dad with his little hat, and it looks sort of like a bird's nest. We put the little, it's got a little fluff here. It's got a little bird sitting up in it, and because it's red, it kind of matches his scarf. We've got the mama, so she's wearing her little shawl, and we just give her double wings on her eyes. And then we've got their little child. And we have this cute little vignette with our finished little spindle snow people. But you can have a lot of fun with this and looking for embellishments in just about anything. This is something that I think you could get your kids involved in very easily. I was gluing things with hot glue, but you don't have to if they're too young to use it. You can just use any kind of glue that you're comfortable with for them, or contact cement or something to be able to glue it on. But I think that they could have a lot of fun dressing them up and creating a whole family, and maybe a family that resembles their own. So, you know, whether their family has 3 girls, 3 boys, they're an only child like he is, they've got 2 dads, 2 moms, really doesn't matter. You get to create your own family, whatever it may look like. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Just something quick, something fun. Sometimes easy is the way that you need to go sometimes. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.